In this video, I'm going to give you a full body 9-minute Theragun routine, but you don't need a Theragun, any percussion therapy device will do. I just recently finished a 30-day Theragun challenge where I used the device every morning and every night for 10 minutes for 30 days. During that time, I got really familiar with the device and how to use it on my body. And by the end of it, I had a 9-minute routine down. So I wanted to share it with you guys. For this routine, I've created a downloadable PDF document. So I've added that in the description below. You can click on it, print it off and use it as a reference just while you get used to the routine. Let's delve straight in. So for this routine, I recommend the dampener attachment or the standard attachment, or if you're not using a Theragun, anything pretty similar. An attachment that works really well all over the body is really cool because then you're not going to need to stop and change the attachment. But by the time you get used to the whole routine, you can stop and change the head depending on what body part you're working on. Before I show you the routine, I just want to let you know that I'm using the Theragun G3 Pro. And a few weeks ago, the brand new 4th generation was just brought out. And it shouldn't really make any difference. Like I said, it doesn't really matter if you're using a Theragun or a different model. As long as it's a percussion therapy device, then this routine should suit you. This routine is really good at night just to help wind down and relax the body, and I recommend grabbing your phone, putting the stopwatch on, and then every 30 seconds you're going to move to a different body part. I'm going to demonstrate this without the Theragun on because that would just be such a racket. The first body part is the foot, and most of the body areas you would start at the base of the body part, then you would work up and down, and then work at the top, and then you would work up and down, about 7 to 8 seconds each. So the foot, I'm going to work for 30 seconds. We'll start at the top, just going across, and then coming up and down, and then across the heel. I quite like to move in circles, and then finishing your 30 seconds up and down the foot. And then you can move straight into your calf. What I like to do is take an underhand grip, and that means that I can come from the outside. I can start at the bottom, 7 to 8 seconds. Then I can come up and down the back of my calf. I can also do a little bit in my shin, coming back round, doing the top, and then finishing the 30 seconds up and down. Coming up onto the floor next, and we're going to move into our hamstrings. So once again, starting at the bottom of the muscle, just above the knee, and working across. I've still got my underhand grip. Then working up and down the middle of the muscle. Then across the top, just underneath the bottom, and then finishing off up and down. And then while we're standing, we can go straight into the next 30 seconds, which is our glute. This is a bit embarrassing, it's just a video of my bum. So starting at the base of the glute, right where it starts to get a little bit meaty. And then for this one, I go up and down the whole of the glute. And then coming in at the top, just where your glute meets your lower back. And then finishing your 30 seconds up and down the middle. Then we're going to move back down onto the floor. The next part is the quad, and you can work the quad standing up, but I find when you sit down it's way more relaxed and you get a much better effect with the Theragun. So again, starting at the bottom of the muscle, just above the knees, and working across the bottom of that muscle, and then up and down through the centre of the muscle, about 7 to 8 seconds, and then coming into the top, right into the hip flexors. And then I like to finish up and down the middle, and then bringing it onto the outside into the IT band. So you can do that whole sequence also using the wedge, which is really nice, into the foot, into the calf, into the hamstring and onto the quad. And while we're sitting on the floor, we're going to do that whole routine on the left side. We're going to work into our foot, And then we'll take the underhand grip and we'll work into our shin and our calf. Then stand up, do the hamstring and the glute, and then sit back down. Take a normal grip and then do the quad. And you'll see that I'm holding the Theragun at the lowest part. Instinctively, a lot of people grab it like this, but I find that the center of gravity is a little bit off. It feels much heavier and I can get much more control even kind of gripping it around here. Next, we're going to come back onto the right side of the body and work the lower back. And for this one, I like to work across the base of my back and then up my spine. Maybe 4 to 5 reps of each until the 30 seconds is up. And again, you can see that I've got an underhand grip for the lower back. Next, we're going to move into the scapula, shoulder and neck. And this one took me a little while to get used to. You're going to put your hand on the back of the machine and place your 2 fingers like this. Just dangle it. And so into your shoulder blade. And actually I'm using my other hand to push around. And then coming across the top of the shoulder into the shoulder blade again. Then the top of the shoulder. And then to finish off, I take my right hand and then I work it into my neck and the top of my shoulder to finish the 30 seconds. And then I'm going to work on the right chest all the time, working in that area to try and get as much blood there as possible. Taking the device into my left hand, so opposite hand to body part, and then I'm going to work it into my chest. Now on the Theragun app, it takes it from here to here, which is really, really good. But also I like to take it up and down, side to side, just avoiding the collarbone, and women avoiding the breast tissue, just working it into the main muscle. And then also the rotator cuff, taking it all the way around into the rotator cuff, back into the chest for the full 30 seconds. And that blends really nicely into the next step, which is bicep, tricep, forearm and hand. And I usually do all of those 4 body parts in 30 seconds. It could probably do with a bit longer, so you can add 20 or extra 30 seconds if you want to. So I start by having my palm up and resting onto my knee, and I work up and down my bicep, and then I come around into my tricep, which can often be very painful. After about 20 seconds, I'll do some work into my forearm, just avoiding my wrist, and then just finish off with some circles on my hands. If I've got any time remaining in the 30 seconds, I'll just bring it back up into my bicep and tricep. And then with that, I'm going to do that little section all again on my left hand side. Underhand grip, lower back, across the bottom, up and down, into the scapula, the top of the shoulder and into the neck. Then coming into the chest and the rotator cuff. I pulled my rotator cuff a few days ago. I used the Theragun on it. I'll be showing that in the 30-day challenge, so hopefully you can make it over there. To finish the routine, bicep, tricep, forearm and hand. So that's the full body 9-minute routine, and what I would recommend, if you do have an extra 2 or 3 minutes, then if you've got any painful spots, any injuries, any areas that were a little bit tender, then you can just head back, choose a different attachment and work on those areas for a little bit longer. Just before I end the video, I just want to give you a few hints and tips that have helped me over the last few weeks. I've been using the Theragun for 10 minutes every morning and evening, but I must say I much prefer using it in the evening so I can relax and wind down ready for bed. And I can't recommend the next two products enough. So anything with arnica in, or anything with CBD in, and in fact if you can use the two together, then you are going to get amazing results. I've been putting a little bit of arnica and CBD into any problem areas. So for example, my rotator cuff at the minute is a little bit injured. I rub that in and then I work the Theragun in, starting with the dampener, then I head down to the standard ball, and then I head down to the thumb. And I find that the increase in circulation, the blood, and the loosening of all of the muscles in conjunction with the arnica and the CBD, it just works wonders. I will be posting more Theragun and percussion therapy device routines in the future. To read the blogs that support this video and to get the downloadable PDF, then head to the description box where I've linked all of the information along with the products that I've been using at home. And if you liked this video or found it useful, give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I've also added some other videos to the screen that you might be interested in if you liked this one. Thanks very much for watching.